Hello, and thank you for taking the time to listen to this message. So the intent for this message is just to help bring you some guidance, some inspiration, um, just something to think about as you're going through whatever part of this journey you are going through right now. We are all feeling something in some sort of way. There's a lot of planetary action that is quite intense at this time. I'm sure I don't even need to say that. You can feel that just with what is going on. So the first card that's coming up is expansiveness, and worth is at the bottom of the deck. And so this to me is indicating where there is a period of growth, right? Where there is this growth and expansion. There is this tension, this square between Mars, which is the planet of action, and Jupiter, which is the planet of higher learning, growth, expansion, that sort of thing. So there is a challenging energy taking place in that area right now. You can look at your chart and see where these houses are. I didn't bring the papers in front of me, so I can't give you the information on where these are, where the planets are located in degrees, but you can look that up. It's easily available. You can also watch other readings that I have, because I have been talking about these energies and where they are located. But there is this sense of like something, being restricted. I feel like there is this restrictive energy for taking action. And I feel that's a result of like having to see something from a higher perspective, or it's about gaining knowledge and wisdom, a higher learning in some way, shape, or form for whatever area of life this is for you. And I do feel like that's part of the restriction is like a challenge to overcome, right? The squares are challenges to overcome. And I feel like it's like seeing something differently. The worth card is out here, so maybe you're selling yourself short in an area, and the universe is just saying no, like no more of that. We're gonna get it together here. We're gonna go for more. We're gonna raise our standards. I have seen that card come out quite a few times. We got the first card that's showing up that says, well, it's not the first card, but out of this deck it is, don't give up, right? This card did show up sometime last week. You can go look at prior readings. But this is talking about don't give up. And I remember specifically calling out how her arms are folded across her chest, kind of like being blocked off, right? And that's from that heart chakra. And I do feel there is this need to let that guard down. I feel like for some of you, this is an indication where maybe you have been blocked off because of prior experiences and things that have happened in the past, and you've had that guard up. Queen of Swords energy, it's kind of giving me. But I do feel like this is saying like it's time to grow from that situation. It's time to recognize your worth and trust in yourself, because I feel regardless of what it is you have been through in the past, I feel like you've grown from that experience. And like I feel there is that opportunity to release, to let those, like, your guard down. And it gives me the energy of maybe somebody who's a little bit resistant or nervous about opening back up, allowing themselves to be vulnerable. When we're blocked off like that, it's kind of blocking off our receiving, right? Our reception energy, to where we want to receive the good things. We want to receive the blessings. We want to receive the peace, the harmony, all of that beautiful energy. But there can be something that is like blocking that from, which could bring that challenge, right? That square energy I'm talking about. And I do feel like this is talking about not giving up and just seeing the higher side of something, recognizing something, having learned from something, and also about having more faith, I feel, in oneself, and because learning from the experience, knowing better, doing better, and now implementing that into the physical realm. So the next card that, wow, look, let go of the past. Don't give up. Like, don't give up on the future. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your hopes and your dreams. Let go of the past. Let go of those things that have blocked you. Let go of those things that you know, have been restrictive for you. Like if you've had the fear because of, like I said, an experience from the past, it's okay that that experience is over. It's when you keep looking at those fears and those things from the past, like it's almost like a re-traumatizing over and over again. And I feel like it's time to let go of that. It's kind of time to look at that, be honest with that, take the information, the wisdom, the knowledge that you've gained and that you've earned from that experience, and allow that to, you know, go to the past and move forward, taking the knowledge, the lessons, and the wisdom with you towards the future. So when you know better, you do better. And look, next card that shows up is defeat, doubt. So no doubt about that, right? And look, ooh, sorry. Look, sacrament of the present, and see how her arms are now wide open. She's ready to receive. I feel like someone's going to really resonate with this, where they've recognized where they've had their guard up. They've been blocking that heart chakra. They've been in an energy where it's kind of like blocking themselves off from receptive energy. I feel like the full moon, well, we've had some significant shifts in energies going on, but that full lunar eclipse moon that we had in Pisces was a big catalyst. It started with the new moon before that in Virgo at the 0 degrees. Then we had this full moon, which I feel like was a really strong catalyst for shifting and changing and seeing something differently, recognizing what, you know, needs to be closed out, trusting in oneself and your intuition a lot more, that sort of energy. And we are getting ready to have a second new moon in Virgo, and this one will be at 29 degrees. So this is like, we started something on the 7th when we had that, it was on the 23rd of August. We had the first new moon in Virgo. Then we went to the 7th of September and had that full moon in Pisces. And we have another solar eclipse new moon coming up in Virgo on the 21st of September, where I feel this is where this one entire cycle, like intense moon cycle between the two new moons and the one full moon, has really brought something full circle. So I do feel like by the time we reach that point of the 21st, you're really going to have a better sense of direction, as well as the energies that are allowing that movement. And I feel like that movement comes through from that shift, from that catalyst, from that recognition of what's blocked and why it's blocked and how it's blocked. And by recognizing that you need to release and let go of that. And again, your fears, doubts, insecurities, whatever that is, and to open yourself up into that receptive mode. So very powerful energy. So we're going to clarify these. And so with the don't give up, this is the card that is coming out to clarify that. And this talks about feelings, right? Again, you can see the hand placement with the heart. I feel like the arms are blocking the heart right there. Healing begins with feeling. Be gentle with yourself and tender with your heart. And I do feel like that is something somebody has had to learn, or is learning, or is recognizing, right, where maybe that heart chakra has been blocked off, or, you know, again, it can be for any reasons, but I do feel like this is that recognition and part of this cycle, like part of the process of feeling, healing, you know, bringing things to the light, seeing them in a different perspective, just really getting a whole shift. Like I feel a whole shift taking place through releasing and letting go. It's like, I'm not carrying this heartache with me anymore. I'm not carrying these doubts and insecurities with me no more. I'm letting this stuff go. Like facing that fear once and for all, and meeting it eye to eye, facing it head on, so that it can be put behind you, right? There is nothing to fear but fear itself. So if you've ever heard that said. So let's keep going. Next card that wants to come up is mind. And this is in the let go of the past. And this talks about inner peace. This talks about meditation. This talks about clearing the mind. And again, the mind can really, do a number on us, right? Like if we get caught up, stuck in our mindset of thinking worst case scenarios or all of that stuff. This card says you are the master of your inner world and you decide how the outer world affects you. Cultivate a calm inner state. So I do feel like this is about that alignment from within, somebody having done the shadow work, really recognizing the things that have, been a block to them, that have been hindering their growth, their expansion, right? Part of this is recognize, I want to see what's underneath here for some reason. Wow, freedom, okay. It was just really drawing my attention to that. So this is about knowing your worth and recognizing you, like the freedom. It just gives me that sovereign energy feel of, not allowing these things to crush you, to hold you back, to stop you from moving forward, stop you from expanding and growing and moving into, even when I look at that card right there, you can see her back is turned towards the darkness. And to me, that darkness is representing fears, doubts, insecurities. And you can see she's facing here. Let me see if I can move this. I can, but she's looking right at that beautiful orb of light, like the happiness, the higher vibrational frequency. It's like she desires to go in that direction, but she's got these arms crossed, so there is some sort of a block there, and I feel that's the energy of I'm letting them fears, doubts, insecurities go. I'm not going to, stay connected to the darker side, which again, fears, doubts, insecurities. I'm going to let that stuff go. I am going to defeat the doubts and insecurities that I feel, or that I feel like are an illusion, because we do see the moon up there. So moons can represent illusions. A lot of it could just be in your, in your head, that sort of thing. And this right there is really clearly showing me somebody's like releasing and letting go and opening themselves up and allowing that energy to receive, to be able to receive that energy. So let's keep going. Let's pull another card right here. And look, another card of meditation. Breathe. So this, if you've been really feeling some energy, I know everybody is, please be mindful, take the time, make the time to just sit quietly, get outside, go into nature, spend time by yourself, just listen to yourself or hear yourself think, or just clear your mind of anything. Again, when I'm looking at the cards, I'm seeing that the moon cycles up there, and I was beginning this by talking about the new moon to the full moon to the next new moon, and so it was going to be quite an intense cycle. The calmer you are, the more time slows down and the easier it is to get everything done. And that's true. You ever be in a hurry, right? Like you're in a hurry and then it's like you run out of time. You can't find enough time to get things done. And then when you're thinking like, I'm just going to do it, and it gets done when it gets done, it's like all of a sudden everything is done and there's nothing left on your plate to be able to have to do. It's because like time, when you're pressed for that time, right? It seems like you have less of it. When you don't feel that pressed for time, it feels like you have more available to you. And this will be the final card for today. And there it is, time, right? Like this is talking about time. Time spent worrying is time spent. It's wasted. It's wasted time. It's wasted energy. That serves no purpose. So be mindful of that. And I'll pull from the bottom of, I have to, on this deck, I have to pull 2 cards because I just do. So the next card that's coming up is the decision. And I do feel like this is a choice. This is all about a decision. It's about a decision to move towards the light. It's a decision to let go of the things that are holding you back. It's a choice and a decision to open that heart chakra up and allow love to come in. And it's about the choice and decision to defeat the shadows, right? Face that shadow side. You see a lot of shadowy energy in here. To recognize your worth, to expand in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes the best decision is no decision at all. So I don't really ever feel that card when that comes out because no decision is a decision, right? And it says sometimes the best decision is no decision at all, but no decision is a decision. But I understand, my understanding and my vibe of feeling that energy right there is just like sometimes, you wait to see, how things unfold, how things are unraveling, things like that to align where you're meant to be. But I do feel there is a decision. Like, to me, this is saying it's time to make a decision of if you want to stay in the dark, a decision if you want to carry around this guilt, this shadow. Like, I feel like this is and the decision, right, to not face the shadow side, to look at that. So calm is here again. This is interesting to see it twice. A breakdown is often followed by a breakthrough. Remain calm. So you have a couple energies out here that are talking about calmness, peace, internal stabilities. Like, it feels to me like internally being at peace, being comfortable in one's own skin, being comfortable with oneself, and even being calm through whatever I do feel this is up there. I feel like it's that energy of facing the shadow, right? Facing the shadow self, looking at the things that we don't often like to look at because they're not the prettiest things to look at, right? Like, if people have anger issues, it's like having to look at them, and there's a lot of emotions and feelings. We did see that could come up and rise up in regards to all of that energy, but it's to look at that and see where that stems from. Follow that thread back to where the root of that problem is, or root of that is, and to face it once and for all, to face it head on and act accordingly. Like, be the catalyst to bring that change by shedding light on it, by recognizing it, by, taking accountability for it, will really shift and change things in a really big way. It'll allow you to, like I said, unblock that heart chakra and really open up. Let's see what's underneath this card as well. Oops, I'm trying. Underneath this sacrament to the present. And I feel with this energy right here, it's like this is talking about the here and the now, right? Like, it's time right now to open up, to be in that receptive mode, to recognize what this cycle is that needs to be closed up and closed out, and to be the catalyst, take the action, be the motivator of that shift and that change. So underneath that is the reach the unreachable. Take your idea, turn your idea into reality. So this is, again, that bright light that you can see up there, right there. That bright, beautiful light. And this is like coming out of that shadow. Look, you can even see the shadow of a person right here coming out of that shadow and heading towards the light. They're no longer allowing that darkness to hold them back. And that darkness can, like I said, represent fears, doubts, insecurities. This is talking about knowing your worth, expand your world in some way. And I feel like it starts internally in the present, right? Starts that internal to reflect external. And this is a beautiful message. It is a little, tough to look at that shadow side, face that shadow side, and even trace those things back to where they stem from. And, there's a lot of times where this comes back from childhood. It comes back from, conditioned belief systems, or where you've been conditioned to see things in a certain way and that sort of thing, and having to really have, like a reckoning with that, really seeing it for truly what it is, and recognizing if that's truly, authentically your energy, your thought, your belief, or your idea, right? If this is really what your soul is resonating with. And when it's not, it's like that's part of shadow work as well. It's like knowing that you have to release it. You have to let that go. You have to disconnect from that energy. And that is not always an easy thing. but it's not impossible, right? It is possible. Anything is possible if you want to move forward, if you want to do the work, if you want to be the catalyst to bring forth that change. I hope this serves you well. I send you love and light. Have a great day.